Kimball, and I am the literary agent for Joan Drescher. And I'm here right now to let you know that Jessica Kingsley Publishers is honored to have been the one to publish a most important book that helps children in crisis. How Images Speak Louder Than Words is being used in Italy, France, Scotland, China, just to mention a few countries that are outside of the United States. Listening to Joan Drescher's process in putting this inspiring literary project together is going to be amazing. And at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce our Joan Drescher.
Thank you. Well, I'm delighted to be here and delighted to see you all here. And I am very excited to share this new book with you. It's been through a long journey, and I wanted to tell you through these slides just a little bit about how I got started and where the book is going. My hope in creating visual images is that children will use their imagination to interact with art. And this is one of the earlier things I did. I did murals in hospitals. And I was working at the floating hospital with children with cancer. And I created the Moon Balloon book as a container to help those kids who are having a difficult time. I had a group of sibs, brothers and sisters, also who had a child with cancer, and I thought that doing art would be a way to empower them. So these murals were 7 of them, called Symbols of Courage, which illustrates the journey that children with cancer and their families travel. Here there was a little boy sitting there looking into a goldfish tank, and I imagined him watching the goldfish, and he is turning all the cancer cells into goldfish. And he has a hypodermic needle, and that is a way of empowering him, because kids have so many things done to them that it is important for kids to act out ways that can empower them. Here, the power of images and symbols. While this little boy is getting chemotherapy, he's turning them all into stars. You can see the stars are going through him. And the little girl there is holding her favorite nurse, an angel, in the palm of her hand. And her thermometer is turning into a flower. So these murals had a profound effect on the patients and the staff. And it was here that I found that images do really speak louder than words. And this is where the Moon Balloon got started. I had done 7 dummy copies, which I shared with the groups of kids, and many of my major publishers didn't think that a book that helped kids with cancer would be very marketable, but I decided to go ahead and do it anyway and self-published it. And so the Moon Balloon has had a life of its own, and it keeps on flying. Creating art has the power to help us find our way back to the soul. It is a journey of passion, exploration, and healing. And this is one of the illustrations from the new book, When Images Speak Louder Than Words. For me, sharing beauty through the Moon Balloon has been the perfect medicine. For the past 20 years, I have been bringing art to healthcare in the basket of a balloon that has a mind of its own. And I do feel this balloon went all over the place, and I was just riding along. This is how I generally get started. I invite a child to take a journey in the moon balloon. And they help me to get the balloon off the ground by letting go of heavy feelings. I ask them to take a deep breath for each feeling. They let go of fear, and they let go of anxious feelings, and they let go of worry. And as they do that, I say the balloon is getting higher and higher up into the sky. Can you feel it? And are you feeling lighter? And as we go higher into the sky, we come to a place called the field of balloons. And here, each balloon is a different feeling that a child might have. And you can see all the different balloons up there, the wish balloon, the angry balloon, the tear balloon, the sun balloon, the stress balloon, the peace balloon, the giggle balloon, and the love balloon. And sometimes we have more than one feeling. All of these feelings are okay. You can choose to visit whichever balloon you like, whenever you like. So I invite them, while they're on the journey, to go into the book. And the book has black and white pages where they can write and draw their own feelings, as I'm doing. This is the butterfly balloon, which is also the star balloon. And I have them make a wish on the wish balloon. Every child has a wish. So I ask them, what are they wishing for? And a wish is also a way for those of you who are teachers to get to know that child through drawing. And you might start just by, what do you wish for? Could you draw it? What color would it be? Where would it go? And as you go through the book, the child can write and draw on all the balloons in the black and white pages. And kids really love this balloon because they can wish for whatever they like and stay as long as they like. And then we go to more difficult balloons. And I call the wish balloon a safe balloon, as the sun balloon is. But then there are others that can be a little more difficult. And the tear balloon is for catching your tears. And I invite a child who's having a hard time to come into the tear balloon. You can give your own examples of what makes you sad. You might ask the child, what color do you think the tear balloon is? And how do you feel when you're in the tear balloon? And kids generally respond. And very often they'll talk about a pet who has died, and they begin to express their feelings. You don't have to save them, and you can just let them be, and can let them stay in this balloon as long as they need to. And it's a wonderful place for anything that you're going through, even having a hard time in school, or anything that might make you sad. But it's wonderful to have a place to go. Here's a drawing that a child did, and sometimes kids can't speak about something, but they can draw pictures. And the balloon is a container, and the tear balloon is very deep. This boy wrote all the things that made him sad. And he wrote all over it and drew and visited it again and again. This is another balloon that is, a lot of kids really like to go into this balloon when they're angry. The angry balloon is important because often children are not allowed to express anger. And you might begin by asking, what color is anger? It can be as messy as you like. This is also a good balloon for adults. I worked with a lot of adults when I was at Mass General who were really angry about high medical bills and doctors that wouldn't listen to them, and just everything, that traffic getting there. that was making them angry. So we would do angry balloons for parents of patients too. And this is an example of a child drawing in the angry balloon. And he wrote everything that made him angry. Sitting in long cafeteria lines, and even things that stuck to the table, and drawing blood, of course. And it's a great way for kids to just let go of everything. And you can revisit it to go back again and again with these drawings. And here is another balloon. I call it the stress balloon. And the stress balloon was created by children I worked with in the schools. A fourth grader told me to draw a clock and draw feet and a head on it because he was always running out of time. And other children were stressed by teasing and kids that bullied them and too much homework and everything going too fast, and noise and pollution and conflict and everything that was on the TV. It gave them an opportunity to express all of that. This is also a balloon I would use with doctors. They were always stressed. Actually, I did workshops for doctors when their beepers were going off, and they really related to it. After I go to the stress balloon, then I always have people visit another balloon, and this is called the peace balloon. And the peace balloon you can go to and put anything that brings you peace. It could be walking in the woods, or being in a beautiful environment, going in the beach. And so there are different kinds of balloons, and they're set in the book. So you sort of go to a journey of these different feelings. And the last balloon is the love balloon. And I always end with this balloon. And it is especially important for kids to know they can give and receive love. And they might put the names of other children or pets or people that they want to send love to. When I'm drawing a love balloon, we usually have a lot of dogs and cats and grandparents, and they're all in the love balloon. And you might even ask, what are you grateful for? What would you like to put in the love balloon? And for working with kids with chronic illness, it is the loving and hopeful spirit that encourages kids to never give up. And then we go back down to the moon balloon and back to the environment again. And kids really do enjoy going on a journey in the moon balloon. The moon balloon actually brought me to Mass General Hospital for Children, where I was the artist in resident for 13 years. And I shared the moon balloon at the bedside with such positive results with kids that my supervisor suggested that we document it. And so we did a research project on it. And working with patients and families from around the world, it proved that images and symbols do help children and families communicate and cope with stress. It also assisted the medical staff to better serve their young patients. And the results of the research were so powerful that it was published in several peer-reviewed journals. And what it said basically, that being in the moon balloon helped parents and children communicate, and it helped to empower children and kids that went and experienced the moon balloon very often did better in with some of their procedures than those who did not. So it was really exciting to have done the research. And the stories in this book, when images speak louder than words, reflect the human side of the data that I found in the research. So these are some of the stories. And I had a cart, and it was called the Imagination Cart. And it was a really crazy cart. It was the only one in the hospital like it. The cart had bells on it, and it had sound and color, spinning kites, ringing bells, streamers, feathers. I would go in the elevator, and I would see some of the feathers from the cart flying down the corridor. And when I entered a patient's room, I was not going to take blood, and they were not frightened of the Imagination Cart. They loved it. In a short time before stories emerged, and I was filled with art supplies, mandalas, making a jewelry box, a magic wand. And I noticed that children who are engaged in creating colorful images and expressing their feelings often need less medication. More than once, a child would say to a nurse or a doctor who entered the room, "Can't you see I'm busy? I don't need any medicine right now. Come back later when I'm not painting." And that really proved that art makes a difference, I think. And I want to share with you a few of the stories from the book. These are all stories of courage from ordinary patients who are remarkable heroes. And this is called The Magician. My imagination cart, filled with art supplies, covered with kites that spin and streamers that float in the breeze, caught the eye of 6-year-old Arvin. He was receiving treatment in the oncology outpatient clinic at MGH. "I want to make a star wand, just like that." He saw it on my cart, he exclaimed, pointing to the cart. For the next hour, he created a cardboard star, refusing all help from his elderly Indian grandfather who accompanied him to the clinic that day. "I'm putting streamers on each point," he said to everyone in the clinic. "Now I need a wand," he announced. And there were no wands in the cart. "I offered a red pipe cleaner," he said. "That will not do. I need a real wand." And after much searching, the head nurse came up with a rigid plastic tube to serve as a wand. And when the star was finally attached, he joyfully yelled, "I have a magic wand." And for that very moment, all the worry and pain in the waiting room seemed to transformed by the power of a small boy who created art and believed in wishes. Months later, he lay dying, too weak to create anything. His mother asked if I would come to the bedside and make some art just for him. "Of course I would," I said. "Make a wish," I said. And he said, "I wish I could be a magician and fly all around doing magic." And I still see his small, frail body connected to beeping machines, cloaked in a makeshift cape, a pointed hat, holding a paper star wand. His wish to do magic was granted as he ascended into another place where God, healing, and art are one. And this is another story I wrote from Images Speak Louder Than Words. It's called You've Got Mail. And it was written by a friend of mine, Liz Ennis. Delivered pieces of love on folded papers like smiles and balloons. Opening a letter of love is like being thought of all over again. pointing at you, to you, sitting with open arms, undivided attention, for one moment in time, being seen as special. The mail comes, the heart opens. In my cart are white paper mailboxes for kids to paint and decorate. Tommy's 8-year-old eyes lit up when he saw them. How do you tell your mom you're scared about painful shots when you're supposed to be a brave 8-year-old boy, not a baby? How do you say you're mad about the food restrictions and just being in the hospital when you'd rather be home playing with friends? How do you say you're really freaked when your face swells up and you don't know what will happen to you next? How do you tell your mom all this when you don't want to worry her? Of course, the mailboxes. First, get Mom to make her mailbox. I had these in my cart. So you do it together, yours and hers. Decorate your mailbox with bright blue paint. Draw airplanes on it. Make a flag from a purple rubber glove and a pipe cleaner. Mom's is bright yellow. She puts flowers from her garden on it. It's beautiful. When they are ready, you slip in your letter and shout, "Hey Mom, you've got mail." How do you tell your son how much you love him, worry about him, and pray to God he will come through the procedure all right without being overprotected mother? You write a letter. You tell him you will always be there for him, whatever happens. You tell him how proud you are of him. You let him know you don't have to fight the fight alone. You will do it together. Fold the paper, apply the sticker, place in the blue mailbox, raise the purple glove, message delivered, unconditional love. Every one of the 10 stories in this book is connected with an activity that you can share with your child. Children are blessed with creativity. We just have to get out of their way. When you share joy of creating, you are opening the box of possibilities together. Just being present is your gift. You already have everything you need to do art with a child. And this is called Making Inspiration Soup. And all of these things can be made with a parent and a child. The Santalune is a universal symbol that can enhance communication between parents, children, in everyday life from any culture. And when we worked with kids in Mass General, they were from all over the world, so it was wonderful to see that. And sometimes I'll ask kids to create their own balloons, and they will come up with something that you never thought of. And here a little girl created a shy balloon with a door on it. And you can use the moon balloon one-on-one, or you can use it as with a group. And it's very powerful with a group of kids. You have them sitting in a circle. And it's really been wonderful things will happen. And this work has been all over the world. And my dream was to bring this work to the children of the world. And I collaborated with Dr. Tina Anani, a friend and a psychologist in Varazzi, Italy. And over the past 7 years, we created an international exchange with the art and students and hospitalized kids, sharing workshops and trainings. And there are some of the kids in Italy. And I went to several of the hospitals over in Italy and got kids to participate. This was part of a 3-day celebration in a little town called Avassola. And the finale was an international circle of children and adults tossing earth balls on a 20-foot parachute in the village piazza. So the Moon Balloon Project is dedicated to helping children and families around the world communicate and embrace the wholeness of life through images. And that is what the Moon Balloon Project, the nonprofit, is about. And art is the bridge to sharing joy, sadness, hope across the world. In 1966, there was a tragic shooting in Dunblane, Scotland, where 16 kindergarten children and their teachers were killed. 725 moon balloon books were airlifted overseas, the courtesy of British Airways. I later got the opportunity to go to Dunblane, Scotland, and work with some of the social workers and doctors who had, and helping with the trauma that some of these families had experienced. And the moon balloon is still used today in Dunblane, and we continue to be in contact with its survivors and healthcare professionals. And it's really quite ironic that we now have a British publisher that is going to get this book back to Dunblane and some of these villages over there. Also here in the U.S., in the response to the Sandy Hook tragedy of 2012, we searched for ways to bring the moon balloon to the people of Newtown and established a connection with the town library there, the Booth Library, and they have a group called Books Heal Hearts. And we have donated dozens of books to their program. And I just want to end this slideshow with a quote by Rachel Naomi Remen, MD. "The places in which we are seen and heard are holy places. They remind us of our value as human beings. They give us strength to go on. Eventually, they may even help us to transform our pain into wisdom." So thank you very much. And now I was going to demonstrate how the moon balloon works on this paper. I'm going to draw the stress balloon. That's how I'm going to get started. And I'm going to ask all of you to give me symbols of things that stress you out. And I'm going to draw them right in the book. So I think I'll put this cover here. For those of you who want to remember the stress balloon, it can be a symbol of just about anything that stresses you out. So I will start drawing a balloon. Can be a very simple thing. You just start by drawing a circle and then a basket. And then you fill it with things, whatever they are, that stress you out. So I'll show you all how it begins to work. Anyone want to give me an idea of what's stressing you out?
Being late.
Being late. Okay, what would the symbol of that be? A what?
Clock.
A clock? Okay. And I have these chalks that are really easy to apply. And just put a little color to them. Okay, what other things stress people out here?
Weather.
The weather, yes, definitely. Snow, maybe. Can you tell me anything in particular that you want me to put in here? All right, maybe.
Smells good.
What goes along with snow also? Shoveling, maybe? All right. Put a shovel in here.
Roof rake.
What?
Roof rake.
Roof rake. Roof rake is right. Yes. Oh, yes. Make that into a roof rake. Good idea. Okay. Other
Traffic.
Traffic. Yes. Yeah. When you're drawing, you can really, you don't have to stay in the balloon. You could even add a little color to it. People beeping. Maybe a school bus. And a little pollution. Okay, what are other things that might make you mad? It could be anything.
Ringing telephones.
Yes.
Ringing telephones, yes. All kinds of cell phones. How about other things?
When you can't work your computer.
Yes, yes, when your computer is not working. You could even draw how you might feel.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the darn computer. I will also ask kids sometimes what color something is, or if it's a feeling, what color is it? Or even how do you feel it in your body sometimes? And lines are another thing you can use if you want a real simple thing. Like, what kind of line do you think would be a simple line for stress? Would it be a smooth line or a jagged line?
Jagged.
Yes.
Early cues.
Yeah. Okay. I think you could get that looks sort of like a stress
Blood
line.
pressure.
But how do you feel when you're in a stress balloon? I mean, if you have all of this confusion going on, how might you feel? And we'll move on to the other one. Does anyone else have any
How
last
about
thing?
a dog barking when they can't go out because there's 8 feet of snow?
Yes, that's a good one. Maybe we'll put the dog in here. That's what your dog does, Ann.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Say, I can't help it. I can't open the door.
Use the window. People jumping out of second and third story windows with the bottom of the snow.
Oh. Driving me crazy.
So I think all of these things bring you, might be good for you if you ever felt stressed, to just take a piece of paper and just scribble and draw all over it and put colors. These chalks are great for you doing something like this. So we'll just call this the stress balloon. When things just are not working, just sometimes coloring it and putting chalk on it. And I've had kids even rip them up and take pens and go and really get their feelings out. And then after we do the stress balloon, I usually invite people to go into another balloon. Which is called the peace balloon. And you might think about what brings you peace. And I'd love to hear from all of you. I think it has sticky stuff on it. It should stick.
Just on the left side.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. I'm doing it on the wrong side. Okay. Tell me some things that bring you peace.
Friendship, curling up with a good book.
A nap with a good...
Curling up with a good book.
Curling up with a good book.
Great book.
Great. Sometimes I get people to tell me where, like when you read a book, are you on a couch or in your bedroom, or do you have bedroom, do you have pillows around you?
Yes.
Good. What is your favorite color? Or do you have any color around you when you're reading?
Blue.
Blue. Okay. Do you read just one book at a time, or do you have lots of things that you read?
One book at a time.
Okay. I know some people have stacks of things.
No, they do. I can't do that.
Okay. What kinds of things do you like to read?
Novels
Novels. Okay.
with something to learn in them.
Uh-huh.
Historical novels.
Okay. I'll put a comforter on you. You look very happy and peaceful, content. All right. Anything else you'd like me to add to that?
Oh, no, that looks great.
Okay. What other things, I'll ask some, thank you very much. That,
Thank you.
what do you do?
When you've got a stressful problem that you've solved, that's
Okay,
peaceful.
that is peaceful, yes. But is there anything that, anywhere that you go or anything you do?
I solved the problem.
Solve the
Whatever
problem?
it is.
All right, okay, so how do you, when you solve the problem, how do you look? How do you feel?
Relieved.
Relieved, okay.
Not sure how you do it every week.
Well,
Tongues. That's how you stop.
you might feel like no more problem. So just a simple feeling like that. We're really going to fill this up with a lot of things from a lot of people. Anybody else?
I feel most at peace when I'm at the beach.
When you're at the beach, great. Do you like to sit on the sand or swim?
Yeah, or on the beach at Situate I sit on the big rock.
Okay, great. Do you have an umbrella or not?
No,
No? Okay.
kind of. I'm sitting at home.
Okay. Put the letter there. We'll put a hat on you. Give it a nice sunny day. Okay, it's looking a little more peaceful already, I think.
How about going for a walk?
Going for a walk, yes. Where do you like to walk?
Outside of traffic or anything,
Uh-huh.
fields or whatever.
Okay.
Clear Cove,
All right,
Waterfall.
great. And there's usually trees around. There you are, walking with your dog.
We can finally get out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's have a few more people.
Joan, how about a waterfall?
Waterfall, good, great, yes. Thank you, Margot, that's a good addition. But you can see how just the color and the line and all these things make you feel different. Do we have a few more people that want to suggest something?
Oh, I was gonna say a cup of tea with a friend.
Oh, yes, that's great. A cup of tea is a wonderful thing. I have loved to have tea. Do you have anything with your tea? What color is your favorite cup?
Pink.
Pink, okay. Just putting some decoration on your tablecloth. But it looks like a peaceful cup of tea.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Just moving my body around, dancing to soft music or doing yoga.
Yes, good, good. That's great. Okay. All right.
A new baby.
A new baby. Oh, great. That certainly is a joy. Let's see. Great, well, thank you, that's a wonderful ending. Okay, well, thank you very much. I think this gives you an idea of how all of this works. Does anyone have any questions about this process or how it can be used? It's really very simple. You don't have to be an artist. What were you going to say, Sue?
When somebody gives you an idea, how do you come up with how to visualize it, what to draw to make that idea
It's really what
visible.
just comes to mind first. I never know what will come, just using my imagination, really. It's, but thinking in symbols and images is very helpful. I mean, you don't have to get caught up in drawing everything. It can, but sometimes the detail is important. I remember working with kids who had lost grandparents and people, and they would tell me about a shirt or something a grandfather would be wearing, and they tell me in great detail the plaid of the shirt, and they would say, you didn't get it right, it had more red or more green. And so I think it's those visual images, whatever comes to your mind about that. But if you're working with someone, it's always a good idea to ask them, is this what you had in mind? What color is it? Is there anything in particular you want to tell me about this? And so you're really acting like a scribe for someone else to get their images out on paper. And that's sort of how I don't feel like I'm doing it, I'm feeling like I'm using it as a communication tool to help others communicate what is going on. So I don't know if that answers the question.
Very helpful.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Can you speak a little bit about the Moon Balloon organization?
Okay, the Moon Balloon is a nonprofit. It gives books away. I do trainings, trying to train other people to use these methods of using this, and we have a board of directors, and the whole idea is to get other people to be aware of how art can help heal, and that's really the part of the whole thing, to get the word out and to get more people involved. And do you have anything to add to that, Sue?
That it acknowledges that art is cross-cultural,
Right.
crosses the borders of language and tradition, and that a lot of the symbols are universal.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of universal
So
symbols.
it's work that can go around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it shows with what's happening to the book now, when images speak louder and it's
Mhm.
going all over the world.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's pretty amazing.
Yes,
I
it
don't
is.
know a children's book that has gone
Mm-hmm.
all over the world to help children
Mhm.
like this.
Because basically kids are so similar wherever they
same
live,
wherever
same,
they are.
and they have the same feelings
Yeah.
and same emotions, no matter where you live, I think. Yeah, yeah. So that's really one of the goals for the Moon Balloon. Yeah. Well, thank you all for coming, and
Thank you.
I'll be happy to sign books for